Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of He Said, He Said, He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. I'm your host, Alvin King, and welcome to this Friday, June the 9th episode. It is Gemini season, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I got to get that out because next week, it is my birthday, and I want you all to tune in again, all right? But anyway, welcome to our show tonight. We have an amazing show lined up for you tonight. Melodic Melodies, an evening with Nhojj music. I'm telling you, you're going to have a wonderful time tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, all right. Let me see. We've had everything from bears climbing trees in Washington D.C. today to orange people getting indicted on 37 counts of something that we hope that we will hold them accountable on. All right, about our show tonight. We are celebrating Black Music Month, ladies and gentlemen, right here on He Said, He Said, He Said. All month, we will have an artist from different genres, from different backgrounds here on the show. They will tell you about their careers and they will also perform for us, ladies and gentlemen. So please tune in every Friday this month because we have a lot going on. And for those of you who don't know how Black Music Month came about, Jimmy Carter made this proclamation to do this in 1979 to recognize the incredible contribution Black music has made on the U.S. and the world. And to kick off our first Black Music Month episode, ladies and gentlemen, our featured artist has won the hearts of fans both domestically and internationally. He has performed with music icons such as Norah Jones, Regina Belle, Taylor Dayne, and Crystal Waters. He's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, Nhojj is here with us tonight, and we are so happy that he is in the house. And again, he's going to perform for you, so stay tuned to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen, because we got a treat. And also, in our feature segment, We See You, you all will meet the amazing costume designer, and who happens to be my friend, Brandy Matthews is here, ladies and gentlemen. He was nominated for a Helen Hayes Award for Outstanding Costume Design for a play here in Washington, D.C. Such a prestigious honor for this talented individual. I'm glad he's here, and he is going to talk to you guys, an amazing person. In addition to it being Black Music Month, it is Pride, ladies and gentlemen. June is Pride Month here in Washington, D.C., or around the world. But in Washington, D.C., we're celebrating Capitol Pride this weekend. The theme for Pride Month is Rage and Resilience. And it's so fitting because the LGBTQIA plus community, we're under attack in so many ways. And this weekend, we're going to celebrate Pride in ways that I hope all of you will be able to enjoy yourselves. And before I move on, in honor of Pride, I want to take a moment to recognize two people who I thought are just, amazing people. They're doing great things in the community. I'm going to first salute Earlene Budd, a fearless, longtime LGBTQIA plus advocate, was named Capitol Pride Superhero, ladies and gentlemen. Superhero, not just hero, superhero. Earlene is one of the founding members and former executive directors of Transgender Health Empowerment Incorporated that was founded in 1996. And this one picture of Earlene that you see standing here, there's a picture that a show that I produced in 2000 I was on tour with Absolute Vodka and Seagram America, and I was able to honor Earlene Budd. And next to her is the late Ron Simmons, who was the executive director of us, helping us. What a great moment. What a great moment. So congratulations to you, Earlene. And secondly, I want to congratulate a gentleman who was here on May the 5th, ladies and gentlemen, on our show, Antoine Driver, CEO of Speak Out. He was hired as the first LGBTQIA plus liaison for Prince George's County, and he will start his new job on June the 19th. You go, boy. We told you. Congratulations. I'm so filled with joy, and I'm just so happy for both of you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to recognize you tonight. So, all right, guys, if you all are ready to get on with the show, I got to get these two in here because I'm telling you, they are ready for this show tonight. So let's get on with the chat. What's up?
There we go. Good to see you both, Bobby. It feels like forever.
Somebody turn the fan on. It's smoke still in here. Hey, how you guys doing?
Well, it is. First of all, it's good to see you guys. It feels like it's been forever since we've been together. So
yeah. Last week it was a little break. We need a little break, and to get refreshed and everything. So we missed the opening of Pride Month, but it's never too late to be proud.
Never.
Is that right? Is that right?
No.
So you guys are doing good tonight?
You guys know Pride Month is a trigger for me because people talk about pride as if it's proud, and pride, those words, stands for personal rights through defense and education. That is where pride came from. So whenever I hear people like, oh, it's pride comes before the fall, it's like pride has a meaning. It is personal rights through defense and education. And I can show that to you if you need to see it.
Well, I don't think we need to, because I think you just dropped the mic and you just educated everybody right there. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from him. Okay.
And
he said it. Hey, Alma. Hey, Michelle. Hey
everybody.
Hey everybody! I can only I hope this is working for me today, because last week I couldn't see some folk and I was like I thought it was me, but maybe it was. I mean, week before last.
Yes,
we were not here. We were not here last week.
Well, we wanted to talk about in the chat, and you certainly, even though it's not one of the things we discussed, you did mention it. We actually had a live bear running around Washington D.C. that they caught earlier today. Yeah.
Yeah, in the neighborhood that I grew up in. Yeah, that was right. I want to know who's housing bears. That's all I want to know. Okay, so somebody's housing bears, but you know what? It's not surprising that he would come out, because first of all, nobody was on the street for the last 2 days because the air quality was so bad. Okay, how did you guys fare? Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, in DC, New York, and Philadelphia, this is how it looked the 2 days ago.
Yes, the Canadian wildfires were having an impact across the United States, and particularly along the eastern coast. And we reached in certain areas code purple, which a lot of people didn't even realize existed, because red is usually as high in terms of the coding system that we usually go, which is very unhealthy. But we reached the code purple.
Which usually is followed by rain, but that didn't happen.
I should have known he would know.
He
wasn't going to let me appear to be like Mr. No, he wouldn't do that.
Channel your early Al Roker. It's okay, Bobby. You're okay. We still love you. Okay, it's not a problem. But we got that one up there. That's
here we go. Al. It's like
do it.
Not that just because the show is called what he said.
Well, I'm just glad that you all made it through. I just wanted to it was really bad. I mean, I wore my mask. Actually, I didn't go out on yesterday, but one time, and that was to put the trash out, because it was really thick and I could feel it. And I just thought better to stay in the house and work on the show. So I'm glad you guys have fared through it and you're doing better. You're here. Yeah, so I'm glad that you guys are well.
Of it, it is a very serious issue, and it certainly reminds us of the connectedness of climate and how we impact one another. These fires are burning up in Canada, and we are feeling the effects of it. Down here, and God bless my mother's soul. I was a caregiver for elderly mother who had COPD, respiratory issues. Like I think of people who have serious asthma. This was very, very serious for them to even, and very dangerous for them to even be able to go outside. So we were making light of it and having fun with one another, but we realized it's a very serious issue.
Yeah, very serious, very serious. So what else is going on this week with you guys?
Well, you also mentioned I'm on a roll. You also mentioned that, that, of course, it is Pride Month, and Vosh was very good to explain to us the acronym Pride. But and the fact that you said that resilience was part of the theme for Capitol Pride It's
Mm-hmm.
certainly an act of resilience in terms of whether or not some of these companies across the nation are going to be able to stand up to some of the backlash, the conservative backlash to some of the Pride advertisements, promotions. Bud Light partnered with a transgender woman for part of their campaign and lost billions of dollars supposedly in stocks, and Kohl's department stores were approached and encouraged to be boycotted. Target actually removed a couple of items. There were some falsities being told about Target promoting swimwear where children could tuck, and there is a concerted effort to really try to demonize, I think, many of the spirit of celebration, recognition, and indeed pride. And I think one of the questions that we are asking of companies and corporations: will you cave into this response, or will you stand tall and say we are doing what we believe is the right thing to do and in support of our customers of the LGBTQIA+ community?
Well, some are going to cave in because at the end of the day, it is really about that almighty dollar for a lot of people, and that I'm not saying that I think that that's right. I just think that, a lot of these companies, with a certain amount of pressure, they say, well, it's affecting our, our what do you call it, our bottom line, if you will. And so it becomes that becomes the driving force in them doing things like removing, items from their store, or I think, we live in some tough times. This climate is awful and people are really mean, and people will do things like burn your store up. And so
there is the fear that there were actually issues of safety and danger for employees if the stores did not cooperate. But what does it also say about the ability for certain groups, constituencies in the United States to be able to act in this way? And what would the impact be if they happen to look like any of us as co-hosts?
Well,
that's a very, very interesting question. And it illuminates a channel of what is the word I'm looking for? When you like make someone an extremist, to see that there are churches. I mean, because I have seen more than my share of priests, preachers, either going into targets on social media or from the pulpit, just going off about this whole pride and the whole LGBTQIA experience, and radicalizing. That's the word I was looking for. Radicalizing. There's channels of radicalization that are being exposed here, and it's getting violent. When people were talking about doing a civil war, there's going to be a civil war, I kept thinking, well, who are they going to fight against? And it's us. It's us and our allies. And the cool thing is that what it's doing is the pendulum seems to be swinging one way, but more and more people are coming forward to say things like, is having a section in a store pushing an agenda? Because if I don't drink and I go into a store and that's alcohol being sold, is that pushing an agenda? Or if I'm a vegetarian or a carnivore and I go into a restaurant and they have vegetarian options, is that pushing an agenda? And I think that from an intellectual standpoint, we're having more and more people step up and just say, look, you really loud minority need to pipe down, because even those people who believe in your particular religion, there's still a large part of them that support people being people and the natural course of love, acceptance, gender expression, etc., being honored and supported.
Absolutely. So there's a lot going on, Alvin.
it's a lot going on, and just for correction's sake, the theme that I referred to for pride is for all pride. It wasn't for capital pride. Capital Pride has a different theme that they're using this year, and that it wasn't that one. This theme that Rage and Resilience is for all prides everywhere. It's for all of that. All right. Well, thank you guys. We stay resilient, everybody, and stay mad. Okay. Okay.
Speak up and speak out.
Speak up and speak out. Well, if you guys are ready, again, We worked on this for this series for the month, in honor of Black Music Month, and so I'm ready to kick the show off if you guys are ready and bring on our special guest.
Absolutely.
So if you guys ready, can I introduce him?
Hercules.
All right. With an unwavering passion for staying true to his artistic callings, Nhojj has spent over 2 decades charting a singular course through the rivers of R&B, soul, funk, jazz, reggae, and poetry, creating spaces where audiences can experience themselves through the eyes of love and acceptance. He's the winner of 4 Out Music Awards. Nhojj has recorded 7 albums, published 3 books, and has toured the world. And tonight, he is here with us on He Said, He Said, He Said. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our stage, Nhojj. Hey!
Hey! Thanks so much for having me on.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I met this guy in 2004, the first event that I produced in New York, and he was the artist there, and he was so young and so talented, but he knew where he wanted to go. Right? I knew that you knew what you were doing, so it's so great to see you here. And look at 6 degrees of separation. Look at this. Look at this. But again, thank you for being here, Nhojj. And you know what? To kick off our Black Music Month, so I'm just going to go right in because I know we have a little time with you. So why don't you share with our viewers how you got started in this business?
Wow. So once again, thank you for having me here. I got your email and I was so like, oh wow, it's good to reconnect after all these years. So
yes, sir. Thank you. You're welcome.
So I started in the church. My dad's a minister, and I was always singing around the house. And so my mom was like, well, he's always singing. Let's put this talent to use. And so I started singing at about 5 in church, and I just never stopped. There was always, a wedding or a funeral or, a service or a concert. And I moved from Guyana. I grew up in Guyana. And I moved from Guyana to Trinidad, and the same thing happened. And Trinidad to New York, and the same thing happened. So music has always just surrounded me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
And I realized that it was the one thing that really brought me joy. And so in terms of deciding on what I wanted to do, I was like, I've been doing this all my life. It brings me so much joy. So let's just start. Let's just jump in and record and write.
Well, how did you learn how to play all the instruments, though? How did that?
So that happened. I started with piano as a child. And then as an adult, my guitar, I would perform with the guitarist, Marcelo Cardoso. And one day he was like, well, you can learn it. Guitar it's not such a difficult instrument to learn. And so he started giving me lessons. And from that, I just continued on with it.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you.
So Nhojj, you've mentioned different genres of music. You've mentioned different cultural experiences and so forth. Most artists can list someone who's inspired them, different types of artists, music. Who's inspired you in your quest to be a musician?
So I think as a kid, Michael Jackson, Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston, just those voices, those big, powerful, beautiful voices. But the one artist that really inspired me to start writing and creating, and who kind of gave me an image of myself and, showed me that I could actually do this, was actually Maxwell. Because, he sang falsetto. He's kind of sensitive artist, creativity was smooth and, and I saw myself in him. So yeah, he was the one for me.
Interesting. Very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
Okay, I just have to ask you a question because You said something that I typically don't allow to just go past. You're a preacher's kid and you're gay. Is there any story in there that we should know about?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Because I want to hear that.
Thank you, Barbara Walters.
Absolutely.
Okay. I like that. Okay. You know. So hold on.
Like, Boss is like, I want to know.
Let me take a sip of tea on he said.
Yeah, so my dad's a minister for the Seventh-day Adventist religion. So there's very conservative group of, and it was difficult. So I had, growing up in the Caribbean and kind of this very, just, it was conservative. It was really conservative. And so thankfully, my dad I never heard anything against homosexuality from the pulpit. But as a friend explained, I just knew it wasn't acceptable. Like, even though it was never said, there was just an energy that was there that, made me want to, kind of cave in. And it took me a long time, and lots of therapy to get to a point where I could tell them, this is who I am. I'm a gay man. And I remember and of course it took many years of a short conversation here, a short conversation there, a short conversation a few years later. And I remember one time we were in the car and my dad's very kind of logical, and it felt like a chess match. He was like, well, don't you believe that AIDS is a sign from God that, we should, that homosexuality is wrong? And I was like, no, because I mean, we don't say that about breast cancer. And we don't use other disease. So he had this kind of logical approach, and which I'm thankful for. My mom had a different experience, but for my dad, I think he kind of got it.
It sounds like he was approaching it from a deep place of love for you and not judgment. So it already sounds like he was having his own conversation and rationalization. Yeah. So what a great dad it sounds like he is or was. I don't know what that situation is. Well, does that happen to factor into why you sing about gay love so much?
Yeah, because I feel like I felt so invisible for so long. And I remember one day I was in my 20s and I just happened to start singing, someday my prince will come. And
I still sing that.
I was going to say, I was just thinking that.
Like, stand in line, okay? Stand in line.
Get out of my bedroom, Nhojj. Okay. Get out of my bedroom. Okay.
And it just made me feel, as you know, right? It just made me feel so good and so right. And so it felt so natural and organic. And I was like, why don't I experience more of this? And of course, there's the industry and the, society. And so lots of artists weren't doing it. And I forget who, I think, is it Toni Morrison? Well, I didn't know the quote at that time about, if there's something, I think for her, it was, if there's a book you want to read that isn't there, write it. Yeah. And that just rang true for me. And so, yeah, I just started, it took me a few albums in to get to that point of confidence where I could do that. But yeah, I felt like it was my calling.
So tell us about this album, Made to Love Him. I love the title of it. Tell us a little bit about the album.
Yeah, thank you for that. So I lived in Chicago at the time, and we were going, my partner and I were at the time, we were driving to Trader Joe's, and Made to Love Her by Stevie Wonder came on the radio. And that's the lyrics of that song. It tells a story of young love, that society, the family, the kind of community doesn't support. And it just resonated. It just like, oh, I know that. I know that experience. And so I started talking with my producer, Ron San Marchi, and we, it kind of blossomed into an album of 12 songs over the last 10 decades, one song from each decade. And we changed the pronouns so that they reflect our truth. And so there's song, like Beyonce's, and no, I'm blanking, but we cover like Beyonce, Luther Vandross, Over the Rainbow, just and I wanted to incorporate all the genres that I really grew up listening to. So there's a bit of jazz, bit of kind of folk, some reggae, some R&B. It's all kind of fused up in there. And so, yeah, it's Made to Love Him.
So is there a category that you feel that you're often associated with? You were talking about different, folk, jazz.
That's a hard one because I feel like I straddle so much. But maybe, soul. I think that's probably closest to my heart. There are lots of like neo soul or but it's soul. It's music that comes from inside and endeavors to touch us all.
Excellent.
Well, speaking of touching, we have someone who, Alma. She's you have a ally. Alma is also a PK.
Oh wow!
And she's sending her love to you. Alma has a show on NNPA as well called Ask Alma. She's one of our favorite folks on here. Thank you, Alma.
Yeah.
My favorite, one of my favorite PKs. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Alma.
Well, you have your latest video that is out is called Gay Ken Doll Wedding. What can you tell us about the song and the video?
So the song is called Faithful, and it's actually off of my first album. It's like the first love song I think I ever wrote back in 2001. And I've been kind of going back over my catalog and because I've released about 6 albums, so there's lots of music and not all of them have visuals for them.
Right.
And recently I was just kind of just reviewing what I've done, and I came across this song Faithful, and it made me start thinking of first loves and young love and what I was like as a child. And I remember I loved playing with dolls. I didn't have any dolls, but I'd play with my neighbor's dolls, but I didn't have any. And I was thinking, now that I'm an adult, I can play with dolls. I can buy my own dolls. I don't need permission. And another thing that I loved growing up were weddings. I loved going to weddings. I loved the dresses and everything about them. So I thought I'd marry those two with this early song that I wrote. And so yeah, that's Faithful. So it's a Ken doll wedding.
Well, we have a clip from that video which will explain why I thought it was called Gay Ken Doll Wedding. Take a look, and then we'll come back and talk about some more stuff with you.
It is called Gay Ken Doll Wedding. You're right.
Okay. We'll let everybody have their own experience with it. Let's go for it.
You told me you're broken. You told me you're through. So much has happened. Don't know what to do. Cried your last cry. Said your just pulls you down. Have to put it all behind you. Leave if love ain't true. He's not the one for you. No, he lies, cheats, never loves you. Shows you no respect. Always leaves you sitting here crying in the wreck. But I'll be faithful. A brand new start. Know that I'm here for you. Know that I care. Look into my eyes. My eyes. What do you see? Tell me, what do you feel?
See, you know what? I want to go out and get married like today. Like right now. Like right now. And I want to first get, I don't know, whoever your artistic directors are for that, they line those dolls up just right at the right moment, at the right time. I love the video.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
I had that gingham shirt.
I just, and ladies and gentlemen, you guys have to see the entire video because it is spectacular. I mean, we couldn't play it. There is a conclusion. Say, what?
And they changed clothes.
Yeah, yes. They changed clothes, and also this is a song that could be played at a lot of weddings, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm telling you, if you call me and ask me to produce your wedding, I'm putting this song in your arsenal. Okay, I just want y'all to know that. Okay, beautiful, Nhojj. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question from one of our viewers about access to your music. Also, did you see that?
Yeah. I did. We're going to get to that before we close out. So right. Yes, thank you, David. So your poetry is a huge part of your music repertoire. Nhojj, can you share with us the themes that come up for you in your poetry as well?
Yeah. So the themes kind of center around. So I've written 3 books, and poetry for me is like therapy in a way. It's a way for me to get my feelings out, and hopefully to create space for readers to feel acceptance. And so my last book, Cherish Yourself, it's really the journey of my coming out and coming to terms with who I am and accepting who I am. Yeah, so a lot of what I do deals with acceptance, self-acceptance, self-love. Yeah.
Well, I tell everyone, I'm telling you, please go to YouTube, Google Nhojj. I think I have his website here. It is Nhojj.com. Please go there and download his music. And before we go, I want to ask, how can we get your music? But most importantly, after that, how can we support you?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So my music is available on all the streaming platforms. So Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and all the others. You can find my videos, of course, on YouTube. You can get books and CDs from my website. And I also have a Patreon. So if you want to get even more content and have a closer relationship, there's Patreon. And it's all under Nhojj, Nhojj.
How close of a relationship can we expect on your Patreon?
So there are different tiers, there are different levels. And at the highest, there is weekly content, music, poetry. You get to see and hear everything before the public does.
Mm.
And more like we can communicate more often. And so, yeah.
Right on.
Well, go ahead, Bobby. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say it's really been great having you here with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, Nhojj is not going away, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to bless us with, a performance, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to come back later in the show, so don't go away because we have more for you. But Nhojj, thank you, my friend, for being here, and I cannot wait to share more of you with our viewers in a few minutes. So, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, just a beautiful soul. And that's the soul I met 19 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm so glad to reconnect with him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, we have and we see you. I am so proud of this moment, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are not familiar with the Helen Hayes Award, it recognizes in DC. It recognizes work from 131 eligible productions presented in the 2022 calendar year. Nominated for the 2023 Helen Hayes Awards were made in 41 categories. Productions under consideration in 2022 included 39 musicals, 97 plays, and 38 world premieres. Well, tonight, I am so happy to have Mr. Brandy Mathias here, ladies and gentlemen. He was nominated Outstanding Costume Designer for the Helen Hayes Award for Nollywood Dreams at the Roundhouse Theater here in Washington, D.C. Please welcome to the He Said stage, Mr. Brandy Mathias, please.
Voila.
Hey, poof, and there you are. Theater. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us, man. I'm so proud because I know how talented you are, and I'm just so proud that not only we see you, but the Helen Hayes Award saw you. Okay, so I'm so happy that you were with us tonight, and again, congratulations on your Helen Hayes nomination for Outstanding Costume Design for Nollywood Dreams. So, Brandy, what did receiving this nomination mean for you?
It was a very enlightening moment because my mentor was Reggie Ray, who passed away some years ago, and he pulled me into theater. I was a fashion designer is what I was doing. And when he saw how much I was, to do with clothes and how quick I was, he pulled me into theater. And when I got there, I kind of loved it and I stayed. And I watched him over the years and I watched him win 2 awards, Helen Hayes Awards. And I went every year and I was like, wow, this is great. And then other theaters, as I started to get known in the theater community, I helped other productions win awards. And I was like, oh, I never even thought about me winning one. It never even crossed my mind. Even though I was designing, it never crossed my mind because I always thought that award is for some big elaborate show. It was, something really big that was out of my reach. And to get the nomination, and literally I had just walked in the door, I got home and I got a text that says, congratulations. And I'm like, congratulations for what? What are you talking about? And then as I got in the door, I got more texts and I kept saying, congratulations for what? No one would tell me what they were congratulating me for. And I was like, what? And I finally called my production manager who was over at Mosaic Theater. And I said, what are you congratulating me for? He says, oh, you've been nominated for Helen Hayes. I'm like, huh? What? And it just like, from that, it was just like, boom. It's like, oh, okay. I'm like, it does happen. It could happen. And it did. So.
Well, congratulations. Clearly, you're on every media stream. You've been on the news. You've just been everywhere. So we are so grateful that you are here tonight. Again, congratulations, my man. Thank you. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes, because costume designing is really such a unique art form. People often just take you for granted, like the lighting, right? You expect people to have clothing on, you expect them to be well lit, but it really is a very, very special skill. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know a few costume designers in Los Angeles and in film and TV, and I love asking them this question. What has been your most challenging project, and what's one that you are the most proud of? And you can change names, like change the first initial of the first and last names, and we won't know the difference.
Asha's on a roll tonight. He's like,
I guess I want to say most proudest is Nollywood Dreams, only because when I started doing costumes, or kind of got into the theater, Reggie was teaching me, unbeknown to me, he was teaching me costumes. Okay. And he was doing things that were like African print, and he did the Black Nativity, and he was like, oh, I need you to research and look up this, and what does this mean, and symbols and fabric. And he was like, and I had no idea. I'm just like doing it because I'm his assistant. So I'm just doing this, doing the research, and like, here, this is what it is. And then when Nollywood Dreams came up, and it was like, oh, this play takes place in the 80s, and it takes place in Nigeria, it takes place in Lagos. And I was like, it all clicked. It came back to me, all of the symbols and the fabric and everything came back. I'm like, that's what Reggie was doing. He was instilling in me that information, and I retained it. So when I started doing the research, it was all right there. It was like walking down memory lane. It all just came back. One that I don't know if I had, it's not a show, it's kind of actors where they feel entitled, and you're bending over backwards for them to do things, and going out of your way, and they still don't appreciate it. They feel like they're still entitled, and you got to smile through it. You do. You smile through it, and you're like, yeah. And it's like, okay, it is what it is. And it what you said, before, costumes is one of those, costume designers is one of those people who kind of like, I don't want to say get taken advantage of, but it's kind of a second thought. They just come in, and it's like, oh, can you do this and can you do that? And it's like this, there's a thought process behind why they're wearing this color, why are they wearing this print, why does things look a certain way. There's a thought process, and no one thinks about that.
It's part of the storytelling.
It actually is. And people don't get it, but they do get it. They, as you watch a movie, like I can't go to the movies without picking it apart. I can't.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
and when you say that, when you say that people don't get it, are we talking mainly about the actors, or because I'm sure persons who are in production like you, they know that about connecting the dots. So are we specifically talking about actors?
It's more or less actors, and it's not, and don't get me wrong. It's not a lot of them. They're just, you come across one or two of them, and they just, I can't even call them divas, because they're not divas. A diva knows her place. She knows what she wants, or he knows what he wants. He knows how to do it, and it's like that. Boom, there it is. These are people who, actors who come up and they feel they're entitled to, well, I won't wear this because it's this and this. And it's like, I'm dressing the character. I'm not dressing you.
Right.
It's
It's
a
the
Right.
difference of
wannabes.
what we're
It's the
doing.
Right.
wannabes, right?
I was gonna, yeah,
The
that's what
people
it
who don't
sounds like.
understand the process,
Right.
who understand. If you're a good actor, you want to wear something that takes you outside of your comfort zone because
Exactly.
the
Exactly.
costume makes your job easier. You could just go in and go, I want water, looking like a hot
Right.
mess, and
Right.
everyone will see you for who you're supposed to be.
Right.
Right. And don't get mad at you because you have to put elastic in their pants. It's
Ooh.
not, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's not personal.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? No, I get it. I get it. I mean, I can imagine what that's like. I can.
It also
Well,
goes-
I guess I can because look, I dress people for a living. I've been in fashion forever. So to have a model walk in who's paying you, who you're paying, and he or she says they don't want to wear something, many people know me, they will go home.
Yeah.
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 There you go.
I'll grab the woman at the hot dog stand, put this on, walk down that runway.
I'm sorry, we digress.
Yes, we do. Well, one of the things that I certainly know, you mentioned the movies, and obviously I'm one of these people who has a great appreciation for the fact that costuming, in some ways, in my mind, is almost like an additional character because it sets the tone. It sets, and I think of, the woman who's just mentioning her name makes my heart flutter, Ruth Carter, because, when I look at what she did with like Black Panther and Wakanda Forever and all of that and the accolades that she got, it reminded me that there, first of all, are not many African-American costume designers out here in the first place. So I want to join Vash and Alvin in congratulating you on your nomination and your recognition of your hard work. But I'd also like to ask you, in terms of being a costume designer of color, do you have advice for those like yourself who may be coming into this field?
All I can say is pay attention, and look around, make the connections, and it will happen. And you just got to do the work. And most people, if you see me work in theater, you'll know I'm one of those people that I'm not seen. They actors or directors or designers ask for something, I say it'll be there. Don't worry about it. Just leave it there. I will come in like a like a ninja. Come in, do it, and leave out. And when they turn around and says, "Is that?" and it's like it's done already. And that's who I am. And I mean, all I can say is like you just got to do your do what's in your heart. Just be forthcoming, and I can't tell you to be honest because sometimes you do gotta tell a little lie here and there, but you just
Really, what kind of lie? No.
They don't make that in your size, honey. So this is all that we got.
Fabulous in that outfit.
and that really is the truth. It's like it doesn't come in your size, but most costume designers, they will, and I've done it many times. I will buy two of them. I will put it together to make the size, to make it fit in some kind of way. You would never know that it wasn't your size, that it was made for you.
Right.
That's what I do.
Right. So just like you said, being knowledgeable. Well, no, just sitting back and learning.
Rodney.
Just go ahead and learn. What did Rodney say? I'm sorry.
Rodney said I used to wear a costume to church every Sunday.
Yes,
you did, honey.
I'm not even gonna say. Rodney. One of the best dressed men that I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so but look, Brandy, but before we let you go, I know that you are currently doing the costume designing in a show called 1 and 2 that's running now through June 22nd here in Washington, D.C. And it features Ryan Jamal Swain of Pose.
Yes.
He's in the play. First of all, I'm going to get tickets. I'm going to see it before it leaves. Can you tell us about the show and your designs?
The show takes place the show takes place inside of a machine. You don't know it's a machine or a game actually. And these three actors have to know everyone's part, all three parts, because they play so many characters. And the audience gets to choose who plays number one, who plays number two, I'm sorry. Yeah, who gets played number one and who gets and who gets played number two. The audience choose that. So it changes each day. It's a different actor who's playing lead. So they have to know all of those parts. And the show is very interesting on that level alone of them knowing what they needed to do. When I did this, when I was doing the show originally, it was like, oh, I read the script. I'm like, okay, it's one costume, it's one costume that they get each, and a few pieces. And then when I talked to the director, he was like, oh no, they changes, and I want full costume changes. So I had to do 3 identical costumes for all 3 of them. And I had to fill up a closet that's on stage for them to each character they have to do. They go into this closet and change clothes right in front of you to create this look of the game. They want to change. They want a different outcome because they say that they're tired of playing this game and they want to do something different. And a machine gets upset with them. So from that point right there, I'm not going to say any more.
Right.
But it's actually a good show to see.
I am definitely. I know I'm going to check it out. I until I started talking to you, and I knew that Ryan Jamal Swain was coming to DC because I followed him on Instagram. I didn't know that was the play that he was in, and so I'm definitely going to check it out. I'm going to check it out.
I mean, all 3 of them. They're very, very sweet guys. They're very down to earth, and again, a matter of fact, for both Michael and Justin, I worked with both of them before on several shows. And these are 2 sweet people that you would love to meet and talk to. Very down to earth.
Well, I'm going to. He'd love to meet them.
Yeah. See. You know what? I'm gonna bring this to a close because you know what, they are crazy. Brandy, first of all, congratulations once again for your nomination on the Helen Hayes Awards. Congratulations on all that you do, and also I also want to say real quick, you mentioned Reggie Ray a couple of times. There's a lot of Howard University folks that are here. Reggie Ray was a staple at Howard University. For anybody who knows anything about fashion and costumes and production, Reggie Ray was a staple at Howard University. So for all you Bison folks who are who follow everything at Howard, Reggie Ray is right up there with just everything. So but thank you again for joining us tonight, and don't go away. We're going to bring you back, but congratulations again, my friend. Keep doing what you're doing.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. You know what? Hate you. Everybody knows. I love, first of all, before we move on, I just love doing this show with you guys. Because, ladies and gentlemen, yes, some things we planned, but then some things are not. And when they come out of their bags, or we come out of our bags with some things because the spirit moves us or whatever, it's a beautiful thing. So I just want to say publicly, I enjoy doing the show with you guys and all that happens. So, all right, so Black Music Month, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, all month, and next week on June the 9th, the show is called Pure Enchantment, and we will have an evening with Kia Bennett, ladies and gentlemen. Kia will be here to perform and to tell us about her career. She's an actress, singer, just beautiful spirit. She will be here with us performing next week. And as always, we have our words of the week that I want to share with you all before we give you all a special treat. And our words of the week is from Morgan Freeman. Mm-hmm. Some of the best advice I've been given. Don't take criticism from people you would never go to for advice.
Word.
That's a word right there. That is a word right there. But
and how often do we find ourselves being upset by criticism of people that we would never even go to for any advice?
that advice is embedded in me anyway. I can smell things that I shouldn't be going to, or people I shouldn't talk to. So I'm good in that regard. But ladies and gentlemen, we promised you a performance, ladies and gentlemen. So we're not going to hold back. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready, and I hope he is ready, we're going to bring to the stage for a special performance for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Nhojj.
I love your chest, I love your lips, I saw your heart right from the start, and I just knew that we would be. I love your voice, you say my name, whisper it soft, say it again, whatever you want, you can have it. 'Cause you're making me high, so high, like you're the highest high. Yeah, you're making me high, so high. Love is the highest high, high. I love your scent, earthy and nice. I love your taste, sugar and spice. I crown you king, give your blessing. Oh, I love your groove, down to the bone. I close my eyes. We're in the zone. Whatever you want, you can have it. 'Cause you're making me high, so high, like you're the highest high. Yeah, you're making me high, so high. Love is the highest high, high. That's why I'm loving your man body. Hey, I'm loving your male mind. Don't you know I'm loving your male essence? Hey, I'm loving yours and mine. Yeah, I'm loving your male body. I'm loving your male mind. Don't you know I'm loving your male essence? Hey, I'm loving yours and mine. Yeah, I'm loving. Ooh. I'm loving yours and
What, child? I got the papers.
Oh, there was some male essence going on.
Wait a minute. Can we bring Brandy back to the stage, please? Nhojj, thank you. Woo! Okay.
Okay, I just have to say, our assistant producer recording was like, "Oh, I need to call and make up with my ex."
We actually put it. Is he trying to make me make up with my ex?
He sings about love, okay, acceptance, okay. First of all, thank you, Nhojj, for that beautiful performance. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to click in the chat. Click, okay? So thank you so much for being here tonight. Brandy, thank you for being here. Whoo! What a show. A lot of
male essence going on right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to seeing you next week. Please tune in for next week and for the rest of the month for our Black Music Month, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot in store for you, but thank you both for joining us tonight. Yeah. And we look forward to seeing everyone again next week on the next episode of He Said. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.